Hello and welcome to the second quarterfinal of the day as Team ORGLESS face off against Chill and Rage on border. Once again on border, so let's get into it.
Yeah, it's interesting that we see border here once again. I wanted to see a little bit of variety. I have some other maps that I like to see, but in any case, we're back here. It's Chill and Rage versus ORGLESS, and I must say, some of the members on ORGLESS, I know them. I've seen them in action. I'm pretty interested to see what they can bring to the table. I've also seen Chill and Rage in action. I think we cast that game at some stage in the past. But in any case, the yeah, the people who are in ORGLESS at the moment, or the people who are ORGLESS at the moment, they've definitely brought some pretty big firepower in the past before. So I'm interested to see what they do this time.
Yeah, these guys have a bit of a reputation within African Rainbow Six, and let's see what they can do. As Thatcher, the first ban coming out from Team ORGLESS, and
Yeah, pretty standard.
Chill and Rage banning a Nomad. Saw Nomad being used to quite great effect on the previous matchup on borders. So if it was Team EC Black Runner consistently to great effect, and seeing her banned isn't too surprising as those Nomad air jabs are very annoying.
Yeah, Nomads are pretty much a staple in terms of this game, in terms of this competitive sort of vibe. There goes the Echo as well. That's a big one that I was surprised that we didn't see banned last time. We do see it banned this time around though. And yeah, so this is pretty much a standard ban lineup. The Nomad being pretty powerful, of course, the Echo. This is a Maestro. This is a pretty spicy ban as well because the Maestro can be used on this map very, very nicely. And on a lot of positions, actually, if you know where to put his cabs, he can be very, very annoying. So I'm not surprised to see any of these bans here. There's maybe one or two that would have not surprised me either way. But yeah, it's a pretty standard setup here, and I'm pretty sure we'll see more of that kind of standard stuff going through.
Yeah, and that's a lot of both information but also utility denial operators gone on the side of the defenders, as well they're now resorting to both Goyo and Mute to actually waste time. You know, Maestro and Echo can be very effective at both giving info and wasting time, so to what they can do with those operators being banned, heading into armory lockers and archives now.
Yeah, I don't think that the bans will hit them too hard with this lineup at least. They have the Jaeger and the Wamai, so pretty much any nades that exist in the map are going to be taken away. Um, of course, that Goya bringing those shields, the Kaid to reinforce any desired walls, and yeah, the Mute is kind of just going to be icing on the cake in terms of stopping any of the walls from being blown up or by a thermite charge, or potentially any drones from coming past in the area.
Yeah, the moment looks like they're going for that waste time play, go for the 20-second mid up, just utilize it to its full potential and see how it works out for them.
Yeah, and I suppose there's no real reason not to.
Yeah, I mean, if you can run it as a good team, it's really nothing you can do against it. Just play your angles passively and hold angles. That's how you win it.
5 seconds left before insertion.
No, pretty much nothing else to say in that regard. So we are going to be seeing that second floor hold. The wall being reinforced there, as you can see, also tricked out with that Kaid. And that's going to be at least that big wall that you often see trying blown open early is not going to be able to be done so. See some quick CCTV plays coming out here. The drones are going in to see what's spotting in that area.
Quite interesting that Team Chill and Rage actually opt to go for a CCTV side take, but if Causa can get this will be a big and early kill. As the IQ just dancing right below his crosshairs.
That bullet hole is just too high.
It's at head height, and most people they crouch through there. And well, great play coming out from Raid's actually crouching through it. But if he walks just a bit too far to the right, he might get dropped. Causa,
oh, there it is. That was one single bullet from the from the vector.
What a way to start this round. Great kill coming out from Causa.
Yeah, and I don't really expect anything less. These guys have shown us that they can do some incredible stuff, so I'm sure we're in for some entertaining gameplay throughout. That's just the beginning right there.
JMA is currently situated on middle stairs. There's a player in 90. If he wide swings this, he could get the kill, but no, he holds it passively, and the other player swings into his angle. Kitsui already low, does one more bit of damage, but still not able to get down all the or the kill, as once again just peeking into those angles. Kitsui on so low health. So if you're finally getting dropped, great headshot coming out from Sticks. It's now
It's
a 5
just
on
so
2-3.
it's so nice to watch these players dance around like with such smoothness, with such skill. You know, it's just incredible to watch their movement and the way they just approach angles and take fights. It's really it's like so nice to watch, honestly.
That's if it was going to get a kill. That's Thermite dropped it, and JMS gets a kill onto Coach 2.0. Kobagas left last alive, but he... What's happening? So much going on the screen, but K8 rotates it around. Captar actually tried to buy some time for himself, knowing he's in a 1v4, knowing he can't really do anything. He just chucks some fire onto the diffuser, tries to buy him some time, but doesn't really work out as Kane is now going for the defuse.
That was a last ditch effort, really, if I've ever seen one. You know, they 1v5 or 1v4, they're pretty much unwinnable. Like, he got the diffuser down at least, but it was really gonna be quite an uphill battle, quite a steep thing to try and bring that back. In any case, he did use the bolt to try and stop the rush on the diffuser and maybe try and play around that. But I mean, yeah, the ORGLESS guys over here, they are gonna have none of that. As soon as they see that gone down, they're gonna come at you from all sides. You know, they're not gonna fall for that kind of tricks. So yeah, quick stuff from them. They just take him out as he rotates through, and yeah, that's the easy first round for ORGLESS.
Yeah, they take it and go to Bathroom Tellers, their second site. Notably, the gunfights just coming out from Team ORGLESS, they are just ruthless on taking the headshots and getting the kills. We saw Orzar get that extremely tight angle, as well as I believe that was Cade peeking into the hallway, getting the headshot, and Sophia. Just great gunfight coming out from these guys.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
And already just as much site rotation as we saw in the previous matchup. We saw one site that was not Armory Lockers or Vents Workshop, and already matching that in this matchup as Team ORGLESS here to Bathroom Tellers.
And this site right here is the site that I was talking about in the previous matchup. This site can be utilized to very great extent, and what you can see right here is that this team ORGLESS is taking full top control here. They are making sure that they know they want to hold here, and that's because the vertical play that can happen on this bomb site in particular is very strong, and they know it. They're going to be utilizing that hopefully to its fullest potential. You can actually just blow straight through the wall here and get a perfect line of sight onto pretty much all the windows and entry points into the site, so you don't even have to be on the site. And you can see that all of the ORGLESS players here, they're not on site, they're all on the second floor, you know, and you generally don't want to enter the site on the first floor in any case. So regardless of where the attackers decide to come through, they're going to have a decent chance of repelling the attack. So I like to see this. I want to see how this pans out.
Yeah, one thing of note currently is how quickly Team Chill and Rage is taking east stairs. And, well, there's not a castle on the side of Team ORGLESS. If they can pressure into this hallway, they might actually be able to get a few angles onto them. But actually, if that is the Cade, no. Actually, Korza down below. The C4 being chucked onto the bathroom wall. There's already a player in bathroom. Both the Capital and I believe that's the Zofia as he gets the kill. Capital being dropped, but JM is still currently engaged with the Zofia. Zofia has bathroom control. These guys are just rushing site, and, well, it's working as 3 players left last live on the side of Team ORGLESS, and the diffuse is being planted by Kitsui in bathroom.
Yeah, right there I see ORGLESS they felt like the situation was getting out of hand, and obviously you saw Chill and Rage there. They took the right approach, definitely just rushing straight into the site as soon as possible, and ORGLESS felt like they needed to respond quickly by dropping down into the site for some reason. Honestly, I feel like they should have continued to hold the top floor and just play a bit more slowly, but in any case, they managed to do a lot of work here. It's still 1v2 though, so it's entirely winnable for Canis, but this is going to be difficult.
Yeah, gets dropped, and that honestly was a great call on the side of Team... what is this? Team Chill and Rage. Just whoever the IGL is, mad respect, because it takes balls to rush a site. But when you know they have such a dominant top floor presence, all 5 players stack top floor, and you can just early on in the round get the information, know exactly which angles they are being held, and know where they are vulnerable. That's exactly what they did. They took bathroom with 2 players, I believe like 30 seconds on into that round, and that's how they won it.
Yeah, like you said, absolute mad respect for the IGL. As soon as they realized what was going on, it was they just stepped on the trigger stepped on that accelerator, put on the gas, and they were just in that site immediately, attacking it instantly as soon as they knew they were playing at the top floor. Still, I
Attackers
hold
need
by
to
my statement
locate and
saying that
defuse as
that
many
entire
bombs as
hold
they can.
can be a lot stronger, but I think the patience that needed to come out for that play to work, and the angles that needed to be held were just perhaps missing in that case. Regardless, OG, they are going to lose that one. Generate take it to GG. It's 1-1 now, and the bomb site once again changes. Workshop.
Yeah, hatches being opened as the top floor room presence coming out from them. Once again, all 5 players reinforcing top floor at the moment. Bathroom wall completely neglected.
10 seconds to insertion.
Yeah. So my question in terms of this is going to be,
5 seconds to insertion.
what exactly are they going to change about the top floor defense? Obviously, they've moved the site. Perhaps they're going to be able to hold this one a lot more consistently from the top floor, considering it seems like they want to play from there again. And honestly, I'm a fan. I like vertical play. As you can tell, I'm quite a fan of it. And so I like it when it gets pulled off. I like it when teams can execute vertical play to great success. So I have my eyes on this to see exactly how this goes off and see perhaps what goes right and what goes wrong.
Cade, that stick's holding quite a tight angle onto east stairs from Fountain side. You can pull this off, you might be able to catch out a player rushing in. Coach 2.0 on the sledge already starting to clear out the barbed wire on the main armory wall, as well as Zofia throwing in a few concussions, but I believe that is both the Jaeger and Canis on the mute currently situated behind half wall, just trying to delay this.
Yeah, so the attackers have quite the task ahead of them. The vertical play on this particular map, I think, is a little bit stronger, maybe.
Oh, doesn't
Here's
check his
one.
angle as the mute from the wall. Actually, JMS getting both, but gets
Ooh.
refragged by the Ibano with the tight angle being held. Gets another onto the mute, but a crossfire being held as the Captal team kill. Quite unfortunate. I thought that was some great rotation out of CCTV side, but no, the Captal actually drops his teammate. It's now a 2-on-2-3.
That is quite unfortunate. I also thought that was a great rotation coming in there, but instead it was just a team kill. That is certainly not what you want to see. Regardless, it's a 3v2 here, which could have been a 3v3 had Cobras.
It's a 3v2, but quite notably, these guys have bathroom control with the angle opened up onto site. Yes, Styx has this from above, but if he loses one gunfight, that's complete control for Team Chill and Rage, as they can just head into site. Ors are actually situated in server, but he's holding it passive.
They're gonna have to do a lot of things right here to hold this one down. The attackers have been doing a pretty decent job of clearing stuff out and knowing when to pull the trigger and how, but the question is, are they able to stave off the defense here? It looks like they're getting attacked through the ceiling, through the floor.
These are going down, but Styx on the gate gets the kill, and Ors are still at the bottom floor. But Leventus gets the kill.
Yeah, I'm not too sure what else to say about that, except from the fact that that team kill probably put them in the butt a little bit there. And then, of course, they couldn't really find any sort of edge way to step into the beginning stages of dismantling the defense, especially considering that they needed to be on the second floor for that to be, successful. Playing vertically is either about having the right angle or just rather taking the fight on the same floor and rotating up there and then, perhaps back down or something like that. Usually what you want there is at least some players, one or two or so, to be on that floor so that you can attack from both sides. So you can attack from the bottom and from the floor that the defenders are on when they're playing like that. Of course, that team kill, they made things a little bit difficult because it was 2v3, so they didn't really have the manpower to expend to do that.
And the thing is, the main point of contention in that round was armory wall, but the attackers actually took control of it. They killed both players behind half wall, and another was taking time to rotate in, but in that brief moment that the team kill just kind of flustered them, it actually gave time for the defender to rotate back onto half wall. If they had just pushed it, not gotten the team kill, they would have had control of armory and from there been able to leverage it. It's honestly just that team kill completely screwed them over in that round.
Yeah, they're gonna be kicking themselves in the butt for that
10
one.
seconds left. 5 seconds left.
A few cheeky drone spots
Attackers are
coming out
moving
from
out to
Team
locate
Chillin'
a bomb and
Rages.
defuse it.
They're now spawn in, looking to
Attackers
take
dropped the diffuser.
CCTV side
Attackers
once
have
again.
recovered their diffuser.
Yeah, so this is a more traditional site, and of course hold, you know, no crazy stuff coming out here. Just have to play the top floor and, you know, do a regular hold. They've got that 20-second meta going, so let's see if that comes to fruition.
Jaeger playing very aggressively. He knows there's a player in jail, pre-firing onto the wall, but he decides to rotate back into main armory side. Coach starts to repel in, taking control of CCTV, knowing that it's clear that Jaeger has rotated out. He can start to take a main wall.
Yeah, so they've got that CCTV control, and we saw in the previous match that CCTV control can be pretty powerful, but these players, I think, will perhaps be able to play around that, not necessarily needing to, or not necessarily losing or anything too great off of losing CCTV control, so no one's gone down just yet, and this wall right here is pretty much going to be the pinnacle.
Yeah, and I think that got the mute jam, and they can start to open up the main wall. As the shield actually as well being dropped, Kane is now the only one still holding it close with the shotgun, being held by Leventus. Smoke as well with the shotgun. Both players just close peeking it, but the wall actually gets opened.
A bomb has been located.
Yeah, so that's a pretty big step to do in terms of the attacking side. You want that wall open, it's going to give you some good angles, but seeing the defense rotate very quickly off of that one is great.
The Capital is
That
so
picks
vulnerable
him
on the drone, but the teammate just helping him out. The crossfire coming out from CCTV side on the main wall, but the Reds actually gets another kill as that is Causa rotating back to site, having played down below, tries to get back and saves his life, but no, gets killed from the 90 angle.
Yeah, and it's literally just that pressure on the wall that they have now blown open that allows them to force the defenders to do some things that, yeah, just make them uncomfortable. And as you can see, they've been losing players off of that.
And as 3 players currently stacked outside of Armory Wall, Capital just rushes in, he gets the kill, but gets refragged. Oh, sorry, that was IQ, but now half full control, just main side control as he wide peeks into it, but the Capital are helping out, wide peeking as well into the angle, the diffuser being planted now as he actually still has a C4. He can get this just too late, doesn't even get the kill.
That was so close. Things are going to be so difficult now because they made the trades were there, but the fact that they had the man disadvantage means that the trades will end with them losing, and just, yeah, Chillin' Rage, they have the trump position in terms of that spot, angles held. Hibana gets the final frag.
And the ACOG being the superior site in that engagement. Long angle being held as Cade peeks into it, doesn't even spot the Ibana.
Yeah, and that is the strength of having that extra zoom. You can take smaller, tighter, you know, sight pictures and really use them to your advantage. And of course, when you're playing 1v2, you're not really peeking those tiny angles. You're trying to focus on the bigger ones, the bigger threat points, and you know, you just can't clear everything by yourself.
Yeah, and that is Team Chillin' Rage taking it now a 2-on-2 scoreline. See what they can do heading into this. Back to Armory Lockers.
Yeah, I think there's definitely some things that they're going to want to change up about this strategy. If I was, if it was just me, being able to trick that wall that we saw get blown open is pretty powerful. And I think there has to be some sort of way or some sort of plan that you have to be able to challenge that position so that the wall doesn't go down so quickly. You know, you want that wall to stay up for as long as possible. You want to waste as much utility and time as possible as well. So there has to be something that you change up, something that happens there, that you don't lose any of your big, you know, objectives, your big kind of selling points here too quickly. You know, you don't want your players to go down. Maybe take CCTV control in this round. You know, switch up, change up something from the previous round. Just fix some problems in order to hold this better in this iteration.
I don't know if you saw how quickly kind of this, but that K charge being placed in such a safe position, but it only gets 1 panel. I don't really know what the effect is of that, because yes, you get 1 panel, but is it worth it to expend half of K's utility to just get 1 panel when, I mean, he could get this entire wall in office?
Well, it appears that they feel like it is. So,
Yeah.
well, we'll see how that comes to fruition. Maybe they just think, okay, instead of playing against the main wall there, we're gonna save we're gonna use some of our utility to reinforce the wall, sure, but we're also gonna reinforce this one inside of the room itself, the little office room there, and play out of that one instead, and hold the angle from there so that we can have 2 threat points when they come through the wall instead of 1, which will make things perhaps a little bit easier.
Barn actually already opening up the 90 angle as Styx gets the first kill for Team ORGLESS, and, well, see a bit of stagnation coming out from Team Chilling Rage on the attacking side as they have control of office as well as the outside balcony on office. Let's see if they can leverage this as IQ is peeking the hallway. Office is completely clear at the moment. Styx is just playing in Fountain, that angle we've seen him holding early on into the round, just holding so tightly into the hallway. Kitsui actually getting the kill onto JMS. Now in Archives.
Ooh. That's a bit of a flop.
But
Zofia is going to get pinted. Wow, that's a lot of damage done by Zofia just in that position, despite being in such a tight spot. Kaid's going to go down as well. Things are falling apart once again. Canis, the last one left alive in a 1v3. The diffuser is going to get planted and the nitro cell not going to connect. This is going to be very difficult now for Canis to bring back.
yeah, nigh impossible because that Zofia did so much damage early on. He just rushed into sight and he was being pressured from 3 angles. Both the Cade and Fountain, cores are close on Archives, and the smoke playing in main armory side. He had 3 angles to worry about and he killed 2 of them. He played a very great angle there. Just great on his side.
Yeah, and it's interesting because ORGLESS seemed to be so much worried about that main wall that they didn't really have anything to do about the rest of it, because the attackers, they didn't even decide to go that way. Once they hit that wall, they were like, you know what, we'll just take the rest of the site. We'll go around the other way, and that seemed to work pretty decently out for them, especially when Zofia is winning fights like that. Then you can just be like, well, we're here. We win the fight. We've got the control. Whatever. It doesn't matter where we come from at this rate.
Yeah, I mean, in the previous matchup of this previous semi-final or quarterfinal, you actually saw the teams, they didn't really switch up their play on attack. One of the teams consistently went from CCTV, one of them consistently from office side. And what we're seeing from Team Chilling Rage is one time they go for armory wall, one time they go for offices, and that switch up is really confusing Team ORGLESS at the moment. They don't know really where to play. They need to switch up their defensive side just in the middle of the round based on where Team Chilling Rage is attacking from, and I really need to commend them for that.
Yeah, it's an interesting decision, like you say. The fact that Chillin' Rage can just switch it up, on the fly, based just round to round, is actually throwing ORGLESS off a little bit, because they identify an issue and they're like, okay, well, this is where they're attacking from. They fix it up, but instead there's just a brand new hole somewhere else that they have to plug up, And at what point can they plug all the holes? Because the rounds are trickling away. Chilling Rage have 3 on attack. And, like we said in the previous match, you need as many defense rounds as you can possibly get. So things are not looking good so far.
Yeah, let's see what Team ORGLESS can do now, as they have a bit more of an aggressive lineup coming out at the moment. Valkyrie, I think she's situated down below, the window already prepped. Kitsui seemingly aware of it, but he's playing it passive.
Oh, that Valkyrie being utilized to such brilliant precision there. That was very, very well done by Corsa. A nice usage of her cams and really great holding right there. So that was a pretty good start. They got Kitsui down. That's a pretty big player that they've taken out of the round now. So
and the thing is, Kitsui was aware of that. We saw him early on into the round just holding it passively, but still getting killed from that angle, and that just shows scores are being so effective. Just they have info on him, but whoa, Kane is peeking aggressively. Actually gets the injure onto the thermite and
oh no!
What?
No, Canis. That is not what you want to see at all. That could have been the biggest nitro cell of the match so far, and instead it blows up in his face. That is really, really unfortunate. Oh, he is not going to be happy.
I don't know what to say about that. He saw it. He knew where the C4 was. Maybe a fat finger, maybe just kill hungry. I don't know, but
You know what? I think I saw what happened there. He threw the cell out towards the window, and instead of going through the window, it hit the frame, and then he tried to pick it up. But I think what happened is he may have released the button too quickly before picking it up and tried to throw it again by pressing the button. But instead of throwing it again, obviously he hadn't finished picking it up, so it just blew up in his face.
definitely a screw up on the side of Team ORGLESS. But look at Team Children Rage's HP. Coach, Reds, Cobras, they're all on less than 25 HP. This is looking very winnable for ORGLESS if they can just get one bullet on each one of these players.
Yeah, they just kind of need to play a little bit passively, wait for something to happen, get the damage done. They just need to put bullets in the right direction, basically, at this stage.
Attackers have located a bomb.
Let's see if they do that.
The only utility is the flashbangs on the side of Hibana as they're smoking it off now, but if they peek too aggressive, and yeah, there we see it. A ninja and a kill coming out. Just a collapse coming out from Team Chill and Rage, but they just don't have the HP to win these gunfights.
Yeah, and once again, we see Corsa on a great angle there, just playing that one so well. You know, he doesn't peak, he doesn't over peak that angle despite it being so small.
Yeah, that's
He's
two players
trying to go
injured,
down, but
and
yeah,
there we go.
that's it. So ORGLESS managed to take that one. Pretty decent stuff. Really well played from Corsa there, and some really good work from him in that round. And that's the kind of stuff that you want to see a little bit earlier, but at least it's coming out now. So it's 3-3. Things evened out.
Yeah,
I believe we're going to get a rehost.
Yeah, we can have a rehost just quick. As one of the players seemingly has a sound bug, just need to sort that out.
Yeah, so while we get that sorted out, you know, just want to talk quickly about the strats going on in there. I think that strat that they pulled out there with the Valkyrie, playing around that kind of stuff, is a lot smarter. I think that the whole 20-second meta idea is all well and good when it comes to that, but I think teams and players are really used to that sort of thing right now, which makes it very difficult, or at least more difficult to pull off than, say, perhaps just pulling something out of the pocket that's a little bit more tailored, you know, when you have your team able to play in a style that really maximizes their ability to shine, you know, as players that are really good at the game. You know, they can essentially say, all right, well, we don't actually have to play entirely for the 20-second meta. Let's rather pick operators that allow us to individually shine and, you know, bring out the more information-based plays, the more smart plays. You know, that's exactly what we saw with the Valkyrie. You know, Valkyrie is in no way the 20-second meta champion, but she's able to pull out the information that is able to get Corsa the kills, and coupled with his play style, it worked out pretty well.
Yeah, and it's a 3-3 scoreline as we just quickly rehost this, but what I'm seeing is both players just, both teams just kind of testing each other out at the moment, and I want to see where it goes from here, as these guys are definitely now hitting their stride, and I want to see how they evolve from here.
Yeah, I entirely agree with you there. I think that from now going forward, the teams will have a much greater understanding of what works and what doesn't work against one another. So they'll definitely be employing their strats and going a little bit harder and more tough. So I'm in agreement with you there. We're definitely going to see some interesting stuff coming out going forward. So as we just make sure that this match gets rehosted, we will be getting in pretty shortly. We're just waiting for the last player to load up and make sure all that the issues are solved so that we can continue forward with a nice competitive match.
If it was a sound bug that caused this rehost, very annoying, definitely.
Yeah, it certainly is. My headphones don't really work too well sometimes. They're a little bit janky. So sometimes the sound in the one side doesn't come out properly, and that can really bite you in the butt when you're trying to you know, play off all the information that's coming to you. You know, sound can be very, very important. In fact, is very, very important. So yeah, I definitely need to make sure that's sorted out before we continue forward.
There we go.
All right, so we have everyone loaded up, ready to go.
Yep. Satan's wood.
All right, so we're back 3-3, and yeah, like we said, the party starts now. Basically, the teams have gotten a pretty decent read of each other, a pretty good feel for what each other are, capable of, what each other like to do. So from this point on, I think we're going to see some very interesting stuff transpire.
Yeah, and as they switch sides now, it should be a testament to the team's strength, being able to switch it up into their respective defensive or attacking sides heading into this now.
Yeah, so what we see from Chill and Rage is a pretty kind of standard setup. They have the Kaid, Mutjager, Legion, Goyo, so a little bit of time wasted there. On the other side, we have Zofia, Gridlock, Hibana, Buck, and IQ. So I like to see that Buck is still getting picked despite not having nades. That was a pretty big blow to his kit, a pretty big controversial topic there. So I'm glad to see that he's still being picked, he's still utilized.
I mean, back in the day, we saw IQ lose her grenades, and she's still being picked in this round, I believe. I mean, utility is a big part of this game, but it's not the be-all and end-all. If your kit is strong enough, otherwise you can still pick operators and do well with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Interesting to see that they're bringing the Gridlock in this match. That's going to be quite a nice area denial operator right there. That's going to be able to create a little bit of pressure, I suppose, in some respect.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, I mean, see what they can do with this. As you say, the Gridlock being able to just area denial, and quite notably actually no thermite on the side of
Attackers
Team
are moving
ORGLESS.
out to locate a bomb and defuse it.
Yeah, that is a pretty interesting decision. We'll see exactly what their plan of attack is. Perhaps they're expecting a particular site. It is going to be that second floor, of course. They are particularly aware of that. Perhaps they have some sort of a alternative approach to attack the site that doesn't necessarily require the thermite, which I'm keen to see. I'm very interested to see how that pans out for them.
Legion currently situated in CCTV, being droned out by ORGLESS, looking to take care of him now as JMS already in CCTV, and he gets the kill to Hero. That is the Legion dropped.
Yeah, that's a great clear out, especially considering Legion pretty much wants to survive as long as he can to utilize his gadget. Going down so early is going to take away all of that potential utility. That's going to be a pretty big blow to the defense.
And Corza on the Buck, he can start opening up the low, cancelling the mute jammers from down below, as well. That looks like what he's doing at the moment, droning out the stairs, just making sure everything is clear. Seeing the player on the hatch actually, but also starting to come up behind half wall, just clearing out a lot of points of congestion, just a lot of easing the worrying on the side of the attackers, now pushing into Armory wall.
Yeah, and that's some great play coming up from the Buck. You can see his utility being used pretty decently to create some holes in the walls, and speaking of utility, some great utility coming out from the attacker side to clear out a lot of that defense on the main wall there.
And that just shows how everything everything goes both ways. The Goyo being popped, gets a Reds onto, I believe, like 15 HP, and Kitsui onto like 60. The Goyo being popped there is definitely disastrous for this team, as now it gets a kill, whiffs a shot onto the Cade. Actually, Cade gets the reef right now on a 3v4.
Yeah, and things are looking pretty dire. The defense not really able to contain the attackers that are coming into the site now, just attacking from all angles. And of course, losing that control of the main wall is going to make things difficult. Levent is going to get a nice pick there and leave Coach in a 1v4. Defuser going to go down, and this should pretty much be an impossible round to clutch.
And the Gridlock's on the stairs, he can't rotate into CCTV. Player on sandwich window, but the 90 angle was I get to the final kill, and that is the first attack, or the first round of the second split, going in favor of the attackers of Team ORGLESS.
Yeah, it was a pretty nice round from them. They were able to attack that main wall, take out the reinforcements and defense utility used up there, get a nice Hibana charge onto the wall, open it up, and get some picks through there. They did get refragged eventually, but ultimately the damage had already been done. Like you said, the Goyo shield's coming back to bite them in the end.
Yeah, heading back to Armory Locks now, hoping to maybe switch something up, but it looks like the same operator lineup as the Goyo gets 6 picked from the smoke. as
Yeah,
well.
obviously they're confident in being able to, fix whatever problems they had in the previous round since their operator lineup hasn't changed and their bomb site is the same.
Yeah, and once again, no thermite. I mean, it worked
Yeah.
out for them, but I don't know if they can continue this. Team Chill and Rage now know they didn't take the thermite, so the Cade, I mean, if he can, a Cade can trick Hibana charges, so this could work out very bad for Team ORGLESS.
Yeah, I mean, I suppose it just depends on how the defense side plays now. The ORGLESS has shown that they can attack the site without the use of Thatcher or Thermites, obviously Thatcher being banned. So, they've shown their ability to do so, which means that the onus is on the defense team to try and switch things up and maintain control of that wall.
Yeah, and once again, a bit of an outside hold in both Office and Fountain, as well as Legion. Once again, playing in CCTV very aggressively. See if he can maybe stay alive a bit longer on into this round. Does have the rotate into Visa's side, but see what he can do with it.
Spicy bullet hole being opened up there.
And this could actually be very good from Gauze on the Buck. He knows the only rotate for the Legion at the moment is that hatch drop, and if they start pressuring him in CCTV, he could get the kills as the Legion drops into hatch. Getting pressured now, and Zofia just pushing in. He actually swings wide, gets the kill, but the player outside of the armory wall finally peeks wide. That's the Ventus on the IQ, as well as I believe that's Cade actually peeking wide outside of the door, being a bit of aggressive. Only 1 point of damage done onto him, but still in a 4-2-4 now. Legion being traded for Zofia.
Yeah, they just kind of pincer attacked him out of his position, put pressure on him, forced him out. He did manage to get that frag, which is pretty much all he could have hoped for in that situation at that stage. And he eventually traded him out. So yeah, 1-for-1. And now the attackers have to figure out exactly how it is they're going to make their way on towards the site.
The Buck just barely missing out on the Cade, rotating in behind Awful, seemingly not aware of the angle being opened up, but he actually gets away with his life, and very well done. Buck definitely will be very important if they want any hope at opening up this main wall. Is it's still caded, but actually no, opened up now. The Cade charge off of the wall. Varna's starting to open up.
Ooh, the Buck taking a lot of damage there. That's going to mean that either he gets taken down. Yep, there it is.
I don't know what Corzo was doing, but Cobras getting the kill with the pistol of Cade just through the floor, seemingly unaware of his position. But Canis, oh, okay. And a 2-on-1, this is suddenly looking winnable as he gets a collateral.
Yeah, that was a little bit chaotic there. The attackers maybe losing a little bit of their footing here. It's a 1v2, like you said, entirely winnable, but things are going to be pretty difficult here. And there it is. Not able to really pull out anything. They loses the gunfight. Defenders win their round.
Yeah, and he knew Cabras was there, he just couldn't find the angle on him. It's great play coming out as Vence takes the second round of the split.
Sure, 4-4.
This is definitely looking like these teams are just matching each other 1-to-1, just answering back, doing what they can to stay in this, and both teams are still in this. Either team could still take this.
Yeah, it's certainly up in the air at the moment. Either of these teams has the skill to be able to pull out ahead, but the thing is, the question is, who does the outbraining first, right? Who makes the Megamind 200 IQ play? Because that's really the question here. Both of the teams are entirely capable of pulling off any sort of lineup, and as soon as one gets ahead in one place, the other team adapts and improves and takes the next one. And so it's a back and forth and back and forth. Somebody has to break the cycle and do something, over and above, something unexpected. Something crazy needs to happen. One of the star players needs to shine on either one of these teams. Something has to happen that really throws the wrench in the works. Because if these players and these teams continue to play kind of 1-for-1, it's just going to keep going even.
Bomb located by attackers.
And as they head to Ventilation Workshop now, that might just be it. Very strong top floor hold coming up. Also still the players downstairs. If they can hold this, it's looking good for them. This angle's being opened up into the floor, a hatch being opened, angles into both B bomb sites and into Workshop from above. They're looking like they have a really strong lineup to all this, as well as the castle being put up on sandwich window. They're definitely expending a lot of utility top floor, and it looks like
Attackers are heading out.
it could work out for them, as attackers now spawning in, looking to take from CCTV as well as office side.
Yeah, this is them kind of saying, all right, well, we see your attempts at this top floor hold, you know, this vertical play attempt. We're gonna try our own version of it. We're gonna see if we can pull it off. So I'm curious if they can, and I want to see what happens here.
Juventus on the IQ already situated on the rappel outside of office side. There's a very strong position if you can hold this both into office and stock room. Bit of a cheeky angle being held by the K to actually throw out his charges. As we see on team ORGLESS starting to take office control, also actually backing off out of office. It's completely clear now as they start to drone it out. But both the Cade and the Jaeger actually situated at 90, but Corza breaks the wall and he gets a kill, and Leventus answering back with a kill onto Reds.
Yeah, this is definitely an interesting take here from both of the teams. Yeah, the first time we saw ORGLESS and the Leventus Oaks try and hold from above here, they sort of failed because they didn't play slowly, and the attackers obviously certainly not play slowly. They just ran straight onto site, and the difference here is that the defenders are playing this one vertically again, but ORGLESS are not attacking super quickly. They just pitched up on the second floor, and they're doing a complete second floor take. You know, so right now they don't even care about the bomb site. They're just wiping the players out.
Yeah, and with the 5-on-2-3 now, the defense kind of at a back foot. They have bottom floor control, but even that is kind of flimsy at the moment, as they are not even on site. All players currently situated in the hallway, as Legion looking to peek into the outside area, the IQ, or I believe maybe, I don't know who it is playing out there, the Yabana, but they are looking to take onto site, and with complete top floor control and no players onto site, they're just taking it at the moment.
Yeah, I mean that's just the fact that the ORGLESS were able to just come into the second floor, get the frags, force the defenders to retreat. They know that no one's on the site now that everyone's kind of rotated off to a position where they're not really comfortable, where they shouldn't really be. Gets the bomb diffuser down, just jumps out the window, wins the peak against the Legion, and this should be a pretty easy win now for ORGLESS, a 1v5.
Yep, and as he's just playing safe, knowing he can't really do anything about it, situated at the bottom of the stairs. As there's a player peeking out, gets the kill actually onto Leventus, that's the IQ down. A great headshot onto Gridlock, but finally getting killed from the hatch in Armory on small box.
Yeah, and that's just ORGLESS playing it slow and smart. They really didn't take any risks there, unlike unlike Chill and Rage, who obviously took that huge risk in terms of rushing. It paid off for them, but so did the alternative. So it's interesting just to see the different takes on attacking this particular defense, and both of them seem to have worked out successfully.
Yeah, and heading back actually to Ventilation Workshop. They seemingly think we can take this. ORGLESS looking to put themselves on match point, but it's still just one after the other. Teams just trading blows, and definitely still an equalized matchup.
Yeah, what this round is pretty much going to come down to is how well Chill and Rage can actually execute the second floor defense. Obviously, we saw it didn't work out for them in the previous round, so they're going to have to change something up and kind of work out where they went wrong and perhaps what they want to change. But that being said, basically, the winner of this map is really going to be who makes the first mistake is going to decide who wins, right? The person who makes the team who makes the first mistake is going to be on the losing side, and you know, the team that does something right, if they get some sort of hero play or if they just capitalize on their mistakes, is going to be the one who wins. So the real question is, can ORGLESS actually win this one going forward, or you know, is it just going to be another back and forth once again?
Yeah, if team ORGLESS can take 2 in a row and actually win this round, they are definitely in a good position, taking match point, and just from there you can honestly lock it out. You still have a bit of a grace period in Chill and Rage's round count. They're only on 4. ORGLESS on 5. If they can take this round, they're definitely in the driver's seat. That being said, there's no one on side. Literally no one on side. They're all top floor and the Legion playing in Visa side. If Team ORGLESS can read this like we saw them read the bathroom hold, something could happen here. I didn't want to allude to it, but it's not looking too good as a player walking into the crossfire. Leventis getting a kill onto Kitsui. That's the Jaeger dropped. Definitely a strong pillar of their top floor hold being gone as they no longer have 90 control. If they can push into Archives here as Hero actually gets the kill into JMS, now equalized once again.
Yeah, this kind of vertical play hold hasn't really worked out whenever it's been tried, so I'm surprised that this was the sort of go-to once again, but it is what it is. They're holding on the second floor, especially since that entry is going to be pretty strong. It's 2v4 right now, Reds and Coach, pretty much the last line of defense for the team here.
Yeah, double kill on Leventis. That IQ using his light LMG to great effect as he gets the 2 opening kills, and Styx gets another. Coach left last live on the Legion. He's bottom floor. He has no side control. He needs to get back onto site, and he has no top floor control. What can he do at this point?
But yeah, pretty much nothing, you know, like a far cry from pretty much just landing 5 headshots consecutively, which I doubt is going to be the case here. Diffusers should be able to go down pretty easily, and they can just retreat.
He spots the buck, but he opts to actually wide peek into ventilation because he knows the plant's going down, but gets killed from the crossfire. Kane is rushing in, getting the kill. That's the 6-4 scoreline now. Team ORGLESS on match point. If I'm Team Chill and Rage, I'm a bit scared because nothing they've been doing has been working out. Yes, they can go back to Armory Lockers now, their favored site, but they need to win 2 in a row to actually confirm overtime at the moment, and it's not looking good. They've just been losing the early gunfights from their losing side because they don't really have any side presence.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the case of who makes the first mistake, and the first mistake was made. You know, here it is. Chill and Rage, they decided to go for the vertical play once again, try to get up onto that second floor, try to defend it from the bomb site, but it just, yeah, it's not working out for them. And I don't know if there's any other way that you can really play those first 4 bomb sites to such a degree at this stage. You know, you could just sit on floor 1, but that opens you up to quite a few potential possibilities. In any case, like you said, they are going to be able to take the second floor once again, but they're going to have to hold this one absolutely perfectly. There has to be no mistakes from this point on, because any mistake pretty much means they have to take the L. So yeah, they need to win the next 2 in a row to bring themselves into overtime, which means that this round has to be perfect. And if it is, that means they can't take it again, which means they have to get off the site, go somewhere else. And that means that they have to execute a strat that they haven't been able to do so, and execute it without any faults, which is going to be pretty difficult.
Yeah, things definitely stacked against them, but you can never write them off, these players. They've done some things in the past, they definitely have some reputation behind them, and they'll never truly write any players off.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the potential for an upset, which is great, we love to see it, but, you know, at this stage, just talking straight up numbers from what we've seen, you know, things are not looking good, so, you know, this is do or die time, really.
Oh, looks like Coach was spotted quickly out there. Roaming outside for a bit too long. They should know the player's going to be situated in CCTV, but they don't really care about that. They're going from office side, and I think that's the call. These players are currently expending a lot of utility onto the main wall, and in CCTV, Goyo is the only real one holding office at the moment, and if he gets dropped, he has some help from the Cade, but if he gets dropped, these guys are looking very good. Team ORGLESS. Well, they have a lot of information on him at the moment. He doesn't know about this drone. If they can rush him, maybe pincer him. We see the Zofia and the IQ both on his sides. If they can pincer him at this point in time, he could get dropped very easily. But the Cade's still there holding his angle. And Coach actually in CCTV very aggressive, gets the kill, but refragged as like only now heading out of spawn. That's Corzo, who's been sitting on his drone the entire round. But Zofia peeking into Fountain, a lot of damage done, gets the Cade, and is not looking good.
Yeah, the attackers just, they have the information, they get the frags, they're winning the gunfights, and now it's red in a 1v3, and without some crazy stuff happening right now, this is pretty much gonna be GG. You know, this has to be pretty much 3 gunfights that have to happen perfectly for Reds. And I honestly just don't see that happening. The attackers, they've just played this one too perfectly. They're ready to take this victory. They don't want to let up anymore. They don't want to give away any unnecessary advantages. And Reds is literally being held completely in this corner. If he moves, he dies.
Still has C4 in his back pocket, and you could lob this over to Fountain side, but he's being droned out at the moment. They know where he is. They know what to do. And Fuse, C4 not landing. Gets killed from CCTV side. Oh, sorry, office side. That's Leventus on the IQ. Great for his team. He's been the guy taking the opening engagement 7-2 on this game, and definitely doing well for his team as well. Team ORGLESS take it in a great fashion.
Yeah, GG, well played. Honestly, we saw some really great stuff coming out from both of the teams, but ultimately it resulted in Chillin' Rage not being able to hold down on the first floor defenses, which ultimately came back to bite them there.
Yeah, and notably, in both matchups, this one and the previous, this has not been a defender-sided map. We saw Team ORGLESS now taking 3 attacking rounds in a row, and I'll be darned, looks like the stats aren't correct.
GG well played, thank you guys.
But yeah,
Oh, it's just you.
Trust the stats.
Yeah.
Sometimes the stats are a little bit misleading. And like I said, often it comes down to, you know, what the teams are comfortable and what the teams are practiced on. And obviously, you know, Chillin' Rage maybe need to work a little bit on their first floor defenses.
Yeah, that being said, Team ORGLESS take it, and thank you so much for watching the second quarterfinal. We will be heading back we will be back shortly for the third quarterfinal of the day, as I believe, let me see, it is Neoflux taking up Team Obstinacy in the third quarterfinal. We will be back now, just heading into a quick break. Thanks so much for watching.